It's Lola versus Ghost Rider, Ghost Rider versus Hellfire, and Simmons just being awesome. Everything moves forward on this week's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4, Episode 4. Let me stand next to your fire. Hey everyone, D here, and welcome to this week's review of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So, there are spoilers ahead, just so you've been warned. Alright, so another really good episode this week. Really nice, really continuing to move things forward. In fact, it's great because it does take our diverse elements, all of our little separate storylines, and pulls them together, moves them all forward, and converges them to one nice moment. So actually, at the end of this episode, we have our team together. So that is awesome. So let's talk about real quick about really the major storyline movements forward here, specifically about Robbie's uncle Elias. Now, if you're familiar with the comic book origins, Robbie's Ghost Rider powers comes from his uncle. His uncle was a Satanist who died, and his soul is now possessing Robbie Reyes, and that is the manifestation of the Ghost Rider. Mikhail, you and I have been talking about this a little bit in the comments section, kind of wondering how they're going to piece these elements together, if they're going with the Robbie Reyes origin, if they're using more of like the Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider, who did sell his soul to the devil, and that seems to be the line that they're sticking with here, which we know primarily because, of course, Uncle Elias is alive, and he is serving time in Southridge Penitentiary under manslaughter charges. Now, Elias is an electrical engineer, and he was hired by Momentum Energy to build their quantum particle generator. Well, to build the generator and also to keep quiet, because they got the plans for this from the Darkhold, from the Book of Sin. So a lot of creepy stuff going on connected with this. Basically, Elias tried to keep Joseph, Lucy's husband. Lucy is the ghost that got loose in the first episode and is now wandering around. Lucy had to build this, tried to get Joseph to stop him using it. Joseph used it on everybody, thought they were killed, and Elias, in his anger of that, beat Joseph into a coma. So that's how he got the manslaughter charges. That's why he is in prison now. So, of course, now that Lucy is back out, that's what brings Coulson to the penitentiary to talk to Elias about what he knows, which leads to the encounter with Robbie, and that leads to the excellent Lola versus Ghost Rider chase scene. Again, television, very good at car chases. That has been the bread and butter since the cop shows of the 70s. And they know how to do it well. It was beautiful, really well done. Nice seeing Coulson in the field. I have to say, I'm really enjoying him stepping away from the directorhood. While I liked director Coulson, Agent Coulson is much more hands-on, much more involved with everything, and still a very excellent driver. It was just a beautiful little sequence there. I just loved how they kept the energy up. Obviously, it has to be a possessed vehicle that Robbie is driving. The Ghost Rider mobile must be, because with that impact on the Quinjet, that should have caused a lot more damage to both of them and the Quinjet, to be honest. But doesn't. Mystical vehicle, and that gets everyone together. Now, I think that Coulson really got to shine in a lot of points in this episode. Like I said, I enjoy him being back in the agent mode. It really sharpens his character, I think, a bit more, because you not only see the dedication to the team and to the cause and everything, but also the intelligence, the quick wit, the trusting, and the straightforwardness. From the scene with Robbie in the plane, where he's just having the quick conversation, notes what's saying, talks to Mac, and then just lets him go. Why? Because they're after the same thing, and Daisy trusts him. He still trusts his team, even though Daisy is out on the run. And also great moments, even with Daisy, that final little moment there, where the two of them finally see each other. And Coulson looks almost a little disappointed in her. There looked a little bit of a scowl on his face, but still it was almost just that silent recognition moment of, okay, now we are back together. And then even at the end bit where Daisy is talking about, oh, I have to go out and I have to fight the Inhumans, and how Coulson's ability to just, no, we are in this together. The together point also something that Simmons had hit on earlier with Daisy, who thinks she can go off on her own and just use the team when she needs to. And I liked how Coulson just really shut her down. You know, this isn't about you, this is about the bigger picture, and we're together to save everyone. It was just, I love those moments with this character. It really grounds him down, really shows his focus and dedication to the cause on top of trusting his team. So just, I'm really enjoying those moments throughout this episode with him. And then of course we got the girl power section. We had Quake and Simmons together. Nice sets up there too. Again, maintaining the character. Of course, Daisy would hack into Simmons' thing and find out the apartment that she's searching for, and then, you know, use that as a way to meet up with her. I just thought that was really intelligently done, and I like the bit where she just throws in, oh, and it's rent control now. So, you know, she's doing favors back. Not just using her, but doing favors back. So it was just, it's nice seeing these elements come together, especially these are two that we don't really see in the field that much together. So it's nice to see that interaction. We also got to see some magnificent character evolution for Simmons as well. You know, in season 1, she was very timid, and then she had the whole adventures on the alien planet, and then dealing with Hive after that, and all of these things really having toughened her up. So at this point, when Daisy is like, okay, you stay here and I'm going to go on my own, she is not having any of that. And that really showed a lot of strength throughout this whole episode. So it was just, it's great seeing the two of them together, and it's great seeing just the strength that it provides and the different elements of character, and again, that evolution. These are very different. They're the same people that we first met seasons ago, but we've seen how these experiences have developed all of them. Like I said, even with last week when we saw how Fitz, again, also timid, and then he had a little adventure with Ward in season 1, and of course then following up with Simmons, all of this has toughened him up, which allowed him to have those most excellent fight scenes from last week with the three amigos, which is, again, beautiful. Jakadubi, Ichidan, you're right, those were great. And then all of this led us to James, aka Hellfire. And initially, we think the team is there to help him out. And then, of course, it ends up being that he is the one that is actually working with the Watchdogs. He is the traitor, I guess you could say. Just let him get into his watch and hack into that, so now they have all of the feeds and all of the locations of the rest of the Inhumans. And I think they did a really good job of giving the reasons why he did what he did. I mean, when we had first met James, all he wanted to be was an Inhuman, as Daisy had said. And then once he became an Inhuman, once he went through Teragenesis, then he was under the control of Hive for that whole time. So then when he finally gets released, when Hive is killed, and then he has to go through the whole withdrawal symptoms, you know, that really gave him, again, that negative viewpoint of what Inhumans are and what they do. All that his association with that experience ended up being pain and betrayal. So I thought that was a really good job of giving him an actual, what I think to be an intelligent backstory for why he did what he did and why he has a hatred of the rest of Inhumans. It's why he's going to do all that. But that does lead us to a great, though a little shorter than I had wanted to be, fight with Hellfire. And really in this, we have kind of that transference of the chain. You know, for Hellfire, for his character, that flaming chain is kind of the central thing. Well, Robbie, I haven't seen really so much of that. But that's still an integral part of the Ghost Rider character, also the flaming chain. So we get kind of that handoff there as when Robbie finishes. I love the explosion in the fireworks factory, and I gotta say, I loved Coulson's statement of, hey, 2 fire wielders in a fireworks factory. You had to see this coming, right? And we did. But even just that last moment when he brings up James and then just pulls the chain up and takes it off with him, it's like, okay, we know that this is going to be his new weapon. So great fight, great kind of moving all of that, and again, transferring that weapon, going from what we saw last season with Hellfire's use of the chain, and now it has been handed over, almost literally, to Robbie. And a review of this episode would not be complete without talking about AIDA. It was a great secondary storyline, but again, really continuing to pull everything forward. And I love the idea of using May as the Turing test for AIDA. Turing test, named after Alan Turing, is the test of if you have an AI and a human talking, if the human speaks with the AI and believes that it's human, then it's a pass. If they believe it's a machine, then it's a fail. And it's perfect to use May as the most objective, observant person that they have. Almost a machine unto herself. If the machine can pass her, then it can pass anyone. And it really does beautifully. And I have to say, I was a little iffy for that conversation that Radcliffe had with her about lying. That's always kind of a gray area. That always seems to be that funky area when you're dealing with artificial intelligences. You know, if you say part of a lie is okay, then where do they know the line? But she did seem to carry that forward, use it properly, or, I mean, she was really telling the truth. It was just kind of an odd, slightly different viewpoint on the truth, I guess, when she was speaking with Coulson about the whole hands thing. Anyway, just was beautifully done. Like I said, fooled everyone. Except Simmons, again, showing her badassery in this episode. I did love the point where she just immediately knew that it was an android, and that it was artificial intelligence. And of course that brings up the whole lie detector bit that she has to do with the director. So I'm going to be entering in a few areas. Again, there's a few lies that she's going to have to tell for this next one, the whole adventures with Quake and such. But anyway, just a great tie-in all together for the whole episode, and really gets to set things in moving forward. So that's going to wrap us up for this week. Next week, we are going after the Darkholme. Yes, we've got the rest of the agents back together with Quake and Ghost Rider, so that means only there's going to be more excitement and wonderful things to come. I cannot wait. If you did enjoy this review, go ahead and hit that like button right down here. You can hit the subscribe button right over here. Come back every week. We're not only doing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., we have The Walking Dead starting up this Sunday, and of course HBO's Westworld. If you haven't checked that out and you do have HBO, please do. It is totally worth it. Amazingly well done. And if you don't have HBO, find someone with an HBO Go password, you know, the same ones that you steal to watch Game of Thrones. Get that and check this out. You will not be disappointed. Comments in the section below. What do you think's going on? Any ideas further on the origins of Ghost Rider? What do you think about Simmons' evolution? And of course, do you think that's going to be a nice little pad for Fitz and Simmons? I think they'll do well there. It's got a breakfast nook and everything. Anyway, go ahead and throw those down in the comments section below. We will keep a conversation going. You can always catch me on Twitter and Instagram. I'm at Darren Jakes. Other than that, I'm going to be out of here. So, I'm D, and I will see you guys next week. Take it easy. Bye-bye.